of the consent agenda items with just the adjustment to the minutes.
Do we have a
If that's
second?
what you're asking.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Howell business, water streets, the one-way PennDOT survey status. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah, I talked with Steve, and we're no longer have, we're still working on it.
Bill? Okay, what about the, permanent campsite sewage planning?
I have an update. Cause I emailed, I reached out to DEP to see if they would give me any formal letter to say that things been closed out. She didn't answer me on the pad, but she said it's closed, but I asked for her to give me documents we can put in our folders. As for the DEP complaint about the porta potties, I have two things I need to address. So I have told ladies that they can pick up the porta potties November 1st because you guys made a vote that the campsites would be closed. Somebody from council called ladies and told them not to remove the porta potties, so it's still down there. So I called them today and said that they can only talk to Tristan or myself because we handle the billing, and to come and please remove the porta potty. But with that being said, our SEO and DEP both said it's okay that we remove it as long as they're closed, but that does not close out your case. You still need to find a permanent solution for next year. Meaning you either have to come up with some kind of agreement from somebody that says you have grant money to build you a bathroom, or you need money to build you a bathroom. I mean, but you can't drag your feet on it because I need to give somebody a response.
The only other things that's not resolved on that is what financial, what we would have to bear financially if we close the primitive camp spots. And Larry, I think you were the last one who was gonna do some research.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to get responses back, and they were originally delayed because of budget constraints, but now they're trying to catch up with their work, so I should have a response. I would point out that I got an email right before Thanksgiving from, our SEO, Jamie Cantonese, who wanted a status update. He had been contacted by DEP, who wanted to know what progress we had made in permanent resolution of the issue.
Cause they asked me to, and I said I could give it to them next year, maybe June, January.
And I do wanna clarify, and I will ask Jamie Cantonese and if there's someone at DEP, why certain places can have portable toilets to be used on a long-term basis as opposed to a permanent bathroom structure. I know that's been debated back and forth. So your three options are, and when I talked before, my understanding was that we could probably not have permanent campsites and not lose any grant money because the portion of the money spent was insignificant, relatively speaking, and you're still keeping the pads. But I wanna verify that with someone in writing. And then number two, the second choice would be, can you use the portable toilets? I've heard conflicting evidence about that, whether or not they can be the long-term solution. And then the third would be to build modern bathrooms facilities, which if we do, because we're close to a public sewage system, we would have to connect to the public sewage system.
Now, I thought you indicated that SEO said we can't have that.
That is correct.
That's what he said.
But then other people saying, I see it everywhere else, and why can they do it here and there? I just wanna
When I
clarify, like, we can't do it.
When I questioned him, he said it had to do with our ordinance in our borough.
And I have to, and one of the differences, we have public sewage, and a lot of these more remote areas do not. So you get more flexibility to deal with sewage in those areas, but because we're a developed area with a modern sewage system, we don't get the benefits, so.
How do we get away with having it in the park?
It's just for the summer months.
It's not for an overnight stay.
Yeah.
And see, theoretically, I could go winter camping, I wouldn't, but you could go winter camping and be there anytime during the year, so they're theoretically available year-round, so. And if you're gonna build bathroom facilities, you're gonna be looking at several $100,000 at least. I'd say 3 would be a good thing if you could do it for 300,000.
300,000.
For modern bathroom facilities, I can't see you doing them for much less.
What do you mean is, you're saying moderate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would, Yeah,
Good question.
They have to be out of the floodway and the flood zone, so they'd have to be further up.
they have to be connected to public sewage, they have to
Public
have
water.
handicapped accessibility, so you're getting into a lot of stuff, you're not just putting an old toilet up and having people go in there, so. I'm just saying, that's the
So we
reality of it in the modern world, and Brian has arrived, he can correct me from an engineering point of view if I'm wrong in what I'm saying.
I think that might be slightly on the high end, but I don't think you're wrong. I think it could be, depending on what you run into.
But if it's also being shared with the parks, could we get grants?
There's definitely the potential for
The
that.
Riverside
But
Park?
I think Larry's value for a budgeting purpose is definitely where you ought to be shooting for.
Even we get 150,000, yay, we have to match it normally with these rec grants, and so we just went through budget trauma getting ready for 2026. Where do we pull, even if we do a loan, where do you pull 150,000 to build bathrooms for how many people who camp there over the year? I mean, it's just like, I wanna live in a 20-room, I don't, but I'd say I wanted a Mercedes, I can't afford one, so I buy something down the line. So the question for this community is, our value such that we can afford to put modern facilities in? And then be careful what you ask for, in my opinion. You get them, then we have to make sure that they're not vandalized and people are using them properly. So our effort getting them there doesn't end the story, then we gotta maintain them. So I'm not saying one way or the other, I'm just saying council's charged with that responsibility, so you gotta think through all that.
Okay.
Cheryl, my question is, did you ask who went behind you and said to leave the porta potties? Or they're getting mixed messages?
Well, I asked them and she couldn't remember the name, but she just said it was a council person, cause it definitely was not Tristan or myself. But
See, that's ridiculous.
regardless, the porta potty was picked up today.
It was?
I called and told them I wanted it picked up today, and she said. she
Well, I
would.
drove home from my doctor appointment, it was still there.
Well, they told us they weren't gonna charge us, regardless, I mean, it's not neither here nor there, nobody on council should be calling about a bill.
Exactly.
Other than Tristan or myself, cause then we don't know, and then they call in and then. And
then they're
Sharon
getting
called
mixed
me and wanted to
messages.
know why the porta potty was still there. I didn't know anybody told them to let it there.
I don't know who said that, but they called me and then I told them that they had to call the office. So. Cause I didn't know what the status of it was, if it had.
Well, you guys voted on it a few months ago, so that's why I told them November the 1st, because that's what you voted on.
Oh, I thought DEP was saying that we had to keep it there.
They said as long as you close the campsite, you can remove the porta potty, so you guys voted to remove the close the campsite temporarily, and then we were gonna take the.
We
porta
spent
potty.
like hours debating, when is it gonna close, or what kind of sign are we gonna do, replace one sign without the other. My recollection is, it was voted to close it during the winter months,
Yeah.
post a sign about the rules and regulations, and then take the porta potties away because we didn't need them. That was my recollection, but if I'm wrong,
Yeah, you're right.
correct me on it.
You're right.
My only question on that is, did we get the sign for the primitive camp spot that says closed? That you were ordering, Taylor?
Aaron, did you call municipal school? You said you was going to about the.
I never, what are the rules gonna say on the front of this sign? I keep asking the same thing. Because the sign I'm getting made is gonna have the rules on this side, and then it folds in half, and it says campsite closed, when the campsite's closed. So, until I get what this thing needs to say on the front of it exactly, I can't get the sign made.
Isn't there one?
You guys voted to take
They
this
voted
down.
to take them down.
It's fine, I'll get him what he needs. Aaron, I'll get you what you need tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Men's training.
I just wanted to let people know, that the place you'll find that training, which is required by all borough council members, is at www.pema.pa.gov. So if somebody's asking you, pema.pa.gov, and then you'll look up NIMS, NIMS.
So, I got an email today from,
probably signed up, had Tristan sign you up for
You
it.
did have Tristan sign you up for it.
Okay, alright. Sorry.
What's it for?
It's a council boot camp.
Boot camp?
Did you
Yeah, you need that.
Online.
I think it's the one that's like an introduction to borough,
Yeah,
to new
yeah.
borough council
Yeah.
members, the boot camp's a separate one, I think.
Yeah, I got one too.
Are you gonna speak to that later?
I wasn't planning to, I don't have a need to.
Well, isn't there one for?
It's not on the agenda right now, that's up to the president whether she wants to go on one.
Is the NIMS done?
Yeah, I was just giving you the website name. so everybody has-
DCED, STMP, Phase 3 Borough Manager status.
Yeah, I reached out to Terry Kunkel since the state's back in business, as they say, and passed their budget. And he indicated that the phase 3 application is now beginning its journey through the approval system, which could take up to 2 to 3 months. I would budget for the manager's position. When approved and the actual contract signed, we will begin the manager search. So I'm just updating you on what she had to say.
And 2026 final borough budget. Yeah.
It was submitted and went through the process. Is there any issues?
I don't see any issues.
So
Anybody
then
have
we
any
need to go for
issues?
approval. So money anyway.
I'd just like to echo what I said before. Thank you to everyone who put time and effort into it. I knew it was gonna be rough this year because it was rough last year because we got dealt a not so great hand. So, from myself, thank you to everybody.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of work. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the budget?
I will make a motion to approve said advertised budget for 2026.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I only have one question. If, while we're doing the budget, if a committee person, or I'm just gonna say finance, it was brought up about raises, and I wanna know if a person on finance can give a person a raise in a room, but not bring it to the council floor, if that raise, and council has to, is obligated to give that person that raise.
No. The answer is no.
Why did that happen?
Well, yeah, they said, that there was a $2 raise, but it never hit the council floor.
Yeah, it did last meeting, we voted on it.
There was nothing on the agenda for a raise for someone.
It's because we didn't grant one,
And,
so it wouldn't have been on the agenda, we didn't grant one.
What are you referring to?
Ethan was given a raise.
He was?
Last year, when you got the promotion, you got a raise. The only person that got a raise that was in discussion was the street worker that was discussed and voted on last,
It's never been voted on.
it was voted on last week.
It
Or
was
whenever,
not.
2 weeks ago.
Is it in the minutes?
No, we had an executive session.
You had an executive session, but it wasn't on the agenda, and it said no action taken. If that's what you're talking about.
It has to be approved at a public meeting.
That's correct. And it would.
That's what we're talking about,
Again.
again.
Is it the same part-time employee that
Yeah.
we've been discussing? It has to be voted on, like, how many times do I have to say it? You can discuss personnel issues in executive session, but that's a collective process to gather information and talk about legal issues. And then what do? We come out here and we vote on it, so our good friends that come every month know what we're doing and the public knows. So that $2 raise, it's, if you reach consensus, we still have to publicly vote on
I
it.
don't know what $2 raise you're.
I don't know
talking about.
either, I took what she said,
Okay.
but the point is that it all has to be approved right here in front of
Well,
everyone.
to be clear, I left his wages at what they were at in this budget.
So a motion and a second on the floor.
I'm sorry?
Your
I
motion?
said, is there, so we have a motion
There
and a
was a
second on
motion
the
made
floor.
and
To
seconded.
approve the budget.
The
Approve
budget.
the budget.
That doesn't
Okay.
finish the other issue.
One thing to finish tonight.
Okay, discussion, all
Not
those in
the same.
favor?
It was,
Good.
it was.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Abstain?
Renee? You don't wanna approve the budget?
Now,
Are you gonna tell us?
engineers.
Good evening, everyone. Apologize for being a couple minutes late, I kind of went on the road a little bit. So, the main thing I wanna talk to you about today is, just after your November meeting, there was a preliminary final land development submitted for the steel shop and storage, facility located near Applebee's. That was, submitted on November 3rd. We provided review comments on November 11th. That was provided back to council, to the borough, and we haven't heard any response back. I just wanna make sure that did get back to the engineer that made the submission. And at this point, we're waiting for further response on our comments. There were a couple of points I did wanna mention related to that. This meeting is your December meeting, you have 90 days to approve per your saldo. That would be March 3rd, which means you would really have to approve at your February meeting.
It would be February.
Yeah, cause we're gonna
It would
miss.
be February first, would be
Yes,
90 days,
So we'll miss the,
February third.
so it'll be the February meeting. So, one item that I did wanna mention to you all is related to their, sanitary sewer connection. They had proposed a 24 by 24 inch, box at the curb. And what we're recommending is a 4-foot manhole, because we feel that would, better serve your municipal authority much better in terms of, being maintainable and would not leak. We're concerned that the 24 by 24 inch box has a tendency to leak. So that's the one point I wanted to mention, just so everybody's aware of that. That's what we're recommending. You can look at any other comments, and if you have any questions, you can certainly, let me know. The next item on the list is that Chestnut Terrace retaining wall project that was bid. It's not under construction. I'm assuming at this point, they're just gonna start work in the spring. We've requested additional information. We'll share that once we get that in terms of when they're gonna start that work. Everything else that I have on here is either a reminder or just something for you to refer to, all of the open issues that we see on the engineering side. Do you all have any questions or anything that I can help with?
Are the Huntington County Community Development Block Grant funding and the Divon Park grant application, aren't they one and the same?
There are two applications.
Two grant applications?
So the one is the
I see.
GTRP, Greenway Trail and Recreational Program.
Yeah.
You submitted that first.
Yeah, okay.
Then following that, there are indications that, CDBG money may be available. So that looks actually pretty positive. In the event you get the GTRP money, we would have a discussion with, Huntington County Planning if you're awarded that funding as well. And that might be able to be moved to other areas within Divon Park. But it looks very positive that your strategy of applying for these multiple grants should be successful in the end, so we'll just keep our fingers crossed. Okay? Anything else?
What date did you guys get given this, the application for the new store?
For the steel,
For the new store, what date did you get?
November 3rd.
It was actually, submitted November 3rd, and it was given to the planning commission on November 12th.
The only reason I asked is there was an application submitted on the September 30th, that's why I was trying to clarify.
Yeah, and it was incomplete.
That was the one where they proposed there be a merged lot when the merged lot wasn't done yet, and the borough staff requested they get that deed to us, so we had the merged lot.
Yeah, and I think fees
And I
had been
think,
paid.
so I think the date that it runs from would be the later date.
Right, I was just trying to put some stuff together because stuff's kind of broken with the Saldo application.
Yeah, I think that's whenever it came in and it was complete. Okay, anything else? All right. If not, thank you everyone, I'm gonna head out and I hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Thanks for all your help this year.
If I can add that, Williams were applying for grants here about 2 weeks ago. Lincoln County Tourism Bureau, we're gonna give out, like $78,000 a year for things just like that. So maybe go to the website, it's a county run grant, well, a tourism bureau run grant. So the application's really easy. For example, like, Huntington Borough just applied for a side-by-side to do their trails, things of that nature. Fire company applied for 25. Harnesses, but it's a very broad grant, but it's gonna be about $70-some thousand a year.
Do you know about that one?
Did you say from the tourism?
Yeah, it's on the tourism page, Racetown Region, it's the application.
Is that for every community, 78,000, or is it?
No,
across
for
all
the
of
whole county, every year it's on a refill, and that's, for example, we started with $12,000 just for trails last year, which was awarded, but now we increased it to $70-some thousand.
Question, are they still the Huntington County Visitors Bureau, or did they change names?
They changed their name to Racetown Region, or their
Racetown.
nonprofit name still Huntington County Visiting Bureau,
Oh, okay.
but their DBA name's Racetown Region.
Okay, thank you, I was confused by that.
Yeah, their website and everything's Racetown Region.
And before we get to the new business, I had a couple public service announcements. The Kiwanis Club of Mount Union is having their 48th annual Christmas Bazaar in the basement of the social room at the First Church at 15 West Shirley Street, Friday, December 12th, from 10 to 8, and Saturday, December 13th, from 9 to 3. Then we have an old-fashioned Christmas trail tour, a stroll through Christmas Past, Saturday, December 13th, from 5 to 7, in downtown Mount Union, Pennsylvania. If I have these up here if anybody wants to see them. And then the fire company asked me to mention that tomorrow at 11:30, there's going to be a ribbon cutting for, from Upward Broadband that put up a new tower to reach people in rural areas so that they had access to high-speed internet. And that's tomorrow at 11:30, and they asked if anybody from council could make it.
And did you say it's gonna be here or where?
Here. Okay, new business, timber business.
The timber bids came in and they're in your packet, and, it's really good news, actually. They're well over the minimum bid that we requested. And so at this point, what we would want to do is get back to Tommy Belinda. We would want to approve one of these. I could only assume that, we felt really confident with Tommy and the work that he did with us, that he would not have sent out the bids to someone he didn't think would do a great job. He was pretty clear about that, and was that your understanding too, Aaron and Terry? And so, I don't know any reason why we wouldn't, approve the highest bid. He did provide us a draft contract, right, Taylor? And Larry is reviewing it, and, so tonight we would like to have, approval, a motion. I don't wanna take your job,
Yeah,
Sharon. if you get
motion
what I mean.
to accept the bid from Get Long Lumber.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Discussion?
Girl from Big Valley.
All those,
Discussion wise, the only, thing that I would like to say is this is such great news for our budget. And we didn't know if we would be able to get this done this year, and I really appreciate the work that Aaron and Taylor did to get it accomplished this year. And I mean that sincerely. You know, Tommy will get, his organization will get their cut, so we won't get the full 332, but we'll get 90% of that, which is very good. A small amount will come this year when they sign the contract, assuming Detweiler signs it this year. They have so many days to sign it, and then if something happens, then it falls to the next one, I guess.
We have to put that on our.
He said that if you sign it tonight, I need to send it to him tonight, so you can send it down because of the timeline.
You know,
Yeah,
what I'm saying is if Detweiler refuses, do we have to amend our motion to go with the second highest bidder?
well, I think that's what we wanna do, and the third thing, I don't wanna make this too complicated, but the third thing is, we discussed at that meeting, is that we really, at the finance committee meeting, we really like to see this go into a Pliget account, which earns a lot higher interest rate. And that would really help our interest earnings for the coming year too, as we get each payment. So, I apologize that my motion wasn't very clear, but the motion I would make would be, I'm sorry.
If you want to amend it.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we, approve the Detweiler lumber bid with the caveat that if they decline to sign the contracts in a timely manner, that we would then approve the bid from Locust Hill Lumber. And for the public, cause I think it's important for you to know, the Detweiler bid for this large swath of land is $332,000. And the Locust Hill Lumber is $302,000. So it would be very beneficial to our borough. And the caveat being that that money will be placed in a Pliget account.
Okay.
And that's
Do we have a second?
That's still $298,000 to the borough if it's a 90/10.
Can I tell you though, I don't know if you guys looked at it, but what I did too, also in the budget, so I did not put all that money into, revenue. I took some money out and put it in tree maintenance, so we can spray it to grow more trees. So I took 30,000 of whatever you get to put into tree maintenance.
We have to make sure it's a sustainable forest, so it's continuous revenue.
Well, and that's what Aaron and Tommy discussed at the last meeting that we had, is how important that maintenance is for after the timber's cut, because I don't remember the names of the plants, but maybe you do, Aaron. He said that ferns and something
That's-
else,
I can't remember the name of the firm, it's an invasive species,
and something called steelgrass maybe?
still grass.
Yeah, that it's ruining the, where Brumball, forgive me, I'm not meaning to be
Broomball.
poorly about there, Brumball, that it's invading those areas, so we wanna make sure we spray.
Where is the timber being harvested from?
Singer's Gap, or
South-
Singer's Gap
The
property.
south end of the property,
The south end of,
of the Singer's Gap property.
Jack's Mountain.
Out by the reservoir.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows what we're talking about, so.
Yeah.
Up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Just a couple of things. First of all, the property isn't in Cromwell Township, so their designation is wrong. I
It's
don't-
not in Cromwell
It's not in
Township.
Cromwell Township. I believe
Is it all in Shirley?
I think so.
Do you know, Aaron, which township that's in?
It's pretty close to the line out there,
I thought it was in Shirley Township.
some of it is.
Should-
I think it's assessed in Shirley Township, so, or they could put Shirley and Cromwell,
Shirley
whatever.
/ Cromwell.
Yeah, because that's not accurate in and of itself.
That's a good point.
And a couple other points I would make, the first payment would be, due, on or before December 31st, and then all the payments, the timberer is willing to pay it by the end of 2026, although they would have an additional year to finish their harvesting activities. The trees will be marked, Aaron will supervise, and, like the orange paint are the ones that'll be taken to a certain level, and then in another block it will be blue paint, so he'll ride herd over them, and the reason you pay that 10%, which is money well spent, is that if there are issues with runoff when they put in the timber road to go get the timber, if there's issues with the neighbor and they gotta iron them out, you're paying TB Wilderness to coordinate all that, and Aaron will be there on a first-hand basis, and that really does make it run much more smoothly. Other than that, I thought it was a pretty good contract, there's nothing in there, I think they're kind of stating what we wanted them to state is, you get the money, once we pay it to you, you don't get, we can't get it back, and we'll be done by 2027, and if we're not done, then the trees are still yours, so.
And we still got our money.
And we still got our money in
So Larry,
2026.
did you just say the first payment is?
By the end of this year,
By the end of
And I
this year.
didn't include that money in next year's budget too, to be clear.
Yes.
it's
So they
30-some
already-
thousand coming, yeah.
They already did some cutting?
No, no.
It's just in the agreement that they have to give us that
Okay,
this
that's all
year.
I know. I didn't
And they're,
know.
like, a lot of times they wanna cut like in the winter because if the ground's frozen, they can get in and out faster. Now, if it gets muddy, then no, you don't want them in there. That's all part of what the coordination is with TB Wilderness, with our public works staff, and with the timbering, service that's doing the work, so.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
We already did, yeah.
Yeah, there's motion made, second, and you've had
I'll second it,
discussion.
yeah.
The only other question I have under discussion is to Cheryl, and I know you mentioned about the Pliget account. Do you want all of that money to go into the Pliget account?
Would make the most sense.
Okay. So I'd like to have that recorded.
As, there's already a timber account created.
Okay, then it goes to Pliget and not be spent. So that was my only.
Well, you're gonna have to spend it, the
Right,
point is, it's just,
but-
it's gonna sit there and grow until you
Grow
actually need it.
Yes, I don't want it to go, what I'm saying is I don't want it to go in and be like, oh, we got $100,000, spend it.
And it's a really good point to make, because if and when this occurs, this could actually do us the benefit of saving us from having to do a tax anticipation note the following year.
Right.
Because we would have funds to access and not have to pay interest on a loan that we don't need.
That's true.
That would be
It
fun.
was it's a consideration for 2027.
Good thinking on everyone, thank you.
Alright. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Super figures done. Parking on Greenway on South Division Street.
Yes, I'm the one who asked for this to be on the agenda. Where the Hershey building was torn down with grant money because it was a blighted property, right, Alex? We agreed to put a green space in there. And we haven't done a whole lot to make it
Green.
really that green, but I know they tried to grow grass in there.
We tried to plant trees too.
No,
Not allowed.
no, it has to be strictly green space,
Yeah.
which means grass. No
Mhm.
benches, no trees, no nothing, it has to be just strictly grass.
Yes, my concern is that there have been, in the last month or two, vehicles constantly parking on that green space. I don't know if they're working on buildings, I don't know if they've got a business next door, I don't know why, but like the last time I drove by there was a utility trailer sitting on that green space.
Still there.
And that's gonna ruin that property if we permit that. Do we have to put up no parking signs, or what do we have to do?
So, last time you mentioned it to me, then Taylor mentioned it to me. I sent in was November 23rd. On the 23rd, I posted all the vehicles and trailers on the property that they needed to remove them.
Oh, okay,
And
good,
in further notice, they will be towed at their expense, no exceptions.
okay.
I let the police officers know, so everyone's on the same page, and I also emailed a copy of the letter that I typed up, which I have here on my phone, if anyone wants to see it. It's
A
just-
letter to who?
That I posted on the vehicle.
He just
Oh,
showed me
okay.
a copy.
Okay,
It was just simple, it just says, please be informed that parking in this lot after 11/24/25 will no longer be permitted. This lot is required to remain empty at all times in accordance with previously received grant money used to demolish the former building that stood here. The requirement includes parking of vehicles and trailers. This lot is owned and maintained by the Mount Union Borough. Any vehicles on this lot after the above stated date will be fined and towed at the owner's expense.
and what was the date,
That was I sent that on.
the above stated date you said?
November 23rd or 24th.
So-
So all of the vehicles have been making their ways out. I have one trailer that the
Yes,
Amish
it's still
own.
there.
The Amish own it.
It
And I'm
needs to
trying-
be removed,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get a hold of them. You can't get a hold of an Amish man.
It
So,
is hard.
It's extremely hard, so we are trying.
Who's he working for, though, this trailer stuff?
He was working for the property that had burned.
Well, then,
Gardner.
I think we need to reach
So-
out to the owner to say,
I'm trying
It's gonna
to
get
find a way
towed.
to get a hold of this Amishman, but, I mean, what about Gardner?
can we call David Gardner and say,
I'm dealing with him on a parking issue actually with that property, because the whole reason the trailer's there, to give you a little bit of backstory, is David is having issues with people parking on his property that live in the apartment building across the street,
oh my,
and they're not allowing him to use his driveway that he has.
For
So-
his tenants.
to fix that house.
Oh my god.
So they moved the trailer into beside the house where we have, saying like, I need to fix my house, you know, and no one asked, but at this day and age, I mean, people asking things don't really happen, they just do it.
Yeah.
So I have I've made, paper contact with some people and vehicles have slowed down. I'm just working on that
Can't
one
he-
more trailer.
Can't he put up a no parking sign in his own driveway and?
Well, he's technically not allowed to park in front of your driveway, that's state parking law.
That's right.
I'm having trouble working with him because our schedules just, they conflict, so.
Well,
Well, thanks for doing the letter on the vehicles.
We are trying, we're doing it, and I really don't wanna take someone's work trailer away that they make their living off of, but, I mean, if it's gonna sit there and we're obviously not gonna have progress, then I gotta do what I gotta do.
well, my concern is that the grass that was there is no longer there. It's like mud right now.
It is,
So who's gonna refurbish that?
and that was,
Well, we
we've
signed
tried,
an agreement that we have to maintain it, so we're gonna have to try.
it was approved, I think, it was approved since I've been on council, so in the past 4 years, it was voted on and approved to purchase topsoil for that lot, and it was never done.
Oh, well, maybe that could be on a list for the spring hearing that we
So-
could look at.
Well, my thing is that,
Because whenever they tore that down, they just filled it with stone, literally filled it with stone and put that much dirt on it.
They put top.
Well, there was
down,
grass there.
put that
Yeah,
grass,
just a little bit.
What do you call that grass? It's already growing.
The sod,
Yeah,
no,
you can't do that.
you can, it's really expensive, sod is very expensive. But that's what I got on it, if anyone has anything else. But we are making
He
an
can
effort.
park in his own driveway.
Okay. Next up is the removal of handicap parking spots.
Yeah, this was just, I noticed on Halley Street that, and it would be West Halley Street, the first block of West Halley Street. There was a woman who came and we granted her, a handicap spot, and she has since died and the house has since been sold. But the handicap spot is still there. So I thought maybe it would be a good idea for us to remove that handicap spot. Do you know where I mean, Aaron, in front of that White House on West Halley Street? Not the one on the corner, not the next one, but the next one. Her name was Beth.
Oh, yeah, I already told her,
Oh,
and take care of it.
Hoffman.
That was the
Bess Hoffman.
Bess, you're right, Bess Hoffman.
Oh.
So it's gonna be removed?
Yeah, cause there's
Oh,
one other
great.
parking spot that needs to be removed too.
Patrick?
Can I remember another one while we're talking about it?
If it's yours,
Yeah, it's 232 West Market Street.
hold on a second.
Removed it.
Yeah, 232 West Market Street. She moved out like 5 years ago, and
Oh, thank you.
I think you need a motion on removal of each of those per the ordinance.
Well, that would make sense if they were put in.
Well,
I
I
would-
accidentally already had one removed, I didn't know that was a thing.
I would,
Should we just?
I'd be safe to make a motion to remove those.
Okay, somebody wanna make a motion to remove the handicap parking spots that are no longer in use?
I'll be happy to make the motion to remove the spot on West Halley Street that was for Bess Hoffman. And I'll make the motion to remove the spot at 232 West Market Street, which, is owned by Patrick.
and I second it.
Second, discussion?
I didn't mean to tell you what to do, I was just looking out for the borough for the parking spaces.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Joe.
Opposed? Abstained? Alright, committee report. Alright, park.
Yes, we had a Parks and Rec Committee meeting. Oh geez, I gotta find my notes. I have 2 pieces of paper here. That goes there. That's tree and forestry. Sorry, I'm a little disorganized here. We had a Parks and Rec Committee meetings, I got it now, on October 31st. And just letting you know, we had the meeting and we talked about the grants for Divon Park. We talked about an Act 13 grant that we're gonna ask to reapply for Rogers Newman Park, because we got denied in 2025. We talked about CDBG grant for 2027, application, because there's been discussion and, we'd like to promote the installation of disabled children and adult swings at Riverside Park. That was a request from a community member. And we also discussed a bocce ball court at that same location. We talked about Act 13 application for the borders that are needed for our playgrounds, and a material that's safe for the children. We talked about, a unisex restroom, and did get some indication that just running the sewer and water itself alone would probably cost upwards of $10,000, but you've already spoken, Larry, to the building aspect. We talked about about park benches along the trail, and the reason we discussed that again was because we know that some community members have put that out to the community to, if they wanna buy one in memory of someone. The dilemma is that is in a flood zone, and we do understand, that there may be permits required, so we just wanna make sure that whoever is doing that gets the proper permits, so we don't have another DEP complaint about doing something we shouldn't be doing without permit. And that was pretty much it, for that meeting.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
Streets, Steve isn't here, I don't do anything.
We were supposed to have a meeting with Steve canceled it.
Okay. Finance, Joe? Anything?
No, we just did the budget, we're done.
Okay. Buildings? Personnel? Ordinance? No. Public safety?
No, not anything.
Stormwater committee?
Oh, if I could, oh, no, go ahead. I would.
So the stormwater committee, I've been trying to get correspondence from everybody, and we decided to move forward without George, and then George decided to email back today. So, we're gonna pick a date and meet after the new year.
Tree and forestry, we already did.
Actually, I did want to update on the tree and forest as well, and that we had a meeting on October 21st, and I'm not gonna repeat what we already talked about, but one of the other things that we did talk about there, is that, Tommy will work with Aaron and our committee to do a 3 to 5 year assessment. And we are planning, he said that we would plan that for some time in the spring, and that's for the maintenance of our forests. And then he would also work on a 10 to 15 year assessment with us as well. He's very thorough. And then we talked about, the Riverside Park trees that were planted down there that were donated. And we talked about the planting of trees by Juniata College at Rogers Newman Park. So if you didn't know that, they did. And I think, Aaron, you were a party to showing them where to do that, and that was all completed, right? That's all I have on that.
Okay, Al?
I did have something for buildings. So, first off, the girls took care of it, which I'm happy they did. There's a new water bill drop box on the front of the building now. The old one, I guess, was at the end of its life. So, thank you, girl. They got a really good deal on one that, someone ordered and didn't pay for, so we got a really good deal on that box. I told him thank you, but I'm saying thank you again. Second thing is, if everyone's seen it, it's the ugly elephant in her room. As soon as you walk in the, front entrance of the borough office, next to the staircase, we have that wall that's been a thorn in our side that looks like shit. There's no other way to say it. It's always peeling with paint and just nastiness. I called the gentleman who fixed it for us last year. Sounds like he's going to be coming back and doing the work again for us. He has a guarantee on his work. So that should be getting repaired and done again, hopefully for the last time. problem we're having is it's lead paint. And there's moisture getting in that room somehow. I thought the moisture would be solved when we got these gutters, but it's not all gone. He removes lead paint as much as he can, and then he takes care of everything the right way, but yes, that's why it's peeling and looks like crap.
Is that it?
That's all I got.
Marley, anything for civil service?
No.
Alright, on the committee reports, anybody have anything? Planning commission report.
Yeah, you have a report in your packet. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows as well that the implementation steering committee for our comprehensive plan, we met again on November 25th, and there are numerous things that we're working on and that we've developed or drafted. In particular, as relates to marketing the downtown area, there's been a drafted business retention survey, and we will be reviewing it further. There were some promotional flyer ideas that were tossed around. In terms of community resources, Sharon mentioned the old-fashioned Christmas event on December 13th. They are asking for anyone who would like to contribute some cookies, that they do want to serve cookies for that event, so if you happen to be one of those people, they would appreciate it. In terms of homelessness, there's a homeless resource list that's been drafted, and it needs some adjustments to it. The idea of that list is that if there are homeless people in our community, that they know how to contact some of the homeless resources in Huntington County or right here in the Mount Union area. In terms of infrastructure, Aaron did a great job and provided that group with the maintenance list, one for streets, one for water, one for sewer. Our priority was the streets one, and we'll talk about that further, but thank you very much for that, Aaron, that was very helpful. Blighted properties, we also created a first draft of a property owner rehab resource list, and had some input from other people, so that will be forthcoming and available for people. The idea on that one was, Alec provided us with an updated blight list, and then on the other side was a decay risk list of properties in the borough, which was pretty sizable. And so we thought it would be helpful potentially that if we had a resource list for them of places they might get assistance, especially if they're low income or they're even moderate income and can't access it, that it would be helpful to them. And so we are discussing the best ways to get that in front of them, to see if it would be beneficial to them.
Cheryl, that list, when you sign it,
Yeah.
will be changing, so you'll get an updated one at the beginning of the year. We had a house get torn down, and we had another one, I think, got rehabbed.
Oh, okay, very good.
Oh, it was in the selling factory will be on.
Okay, very good, thank you. In terms of the parking study, I gave a partial report to the Public Safety and Streets Committee, as well as the mayor and council president, as well as the officer in charge back in October, and didn't hear anything back. So that'll be on a list for something to continue with down the road. And then the last item on the planning commission that's pertinent is the CTAP meeting. We held there was a CTAP meeting on November 21st, and we were delighted because Joan, Taylor, Jenny, and I were there to participate, and there were actually 3 DCED representatives there. And it was very helpful to get a better understanding of their pilot program, and that we were selected for it, and that would mean up to 400 hours from their team. We would sign a mini contract of sorts to work on various matters.
Cheryl, is that the comprehensive plan?
No, CTAP is the technical assistance program that's offered through the state. and this is a pilot program.
She was a lot of time.
Yeah, that was the meeting you couldn't make, you said you started a new job or something, yeah. Anyway, and so they got input from all four of us, we all gave input. And they said they would get back to us in January to provide us with two scope of work options, so that we could select and bring it to Borough Council, so that we can begin getting some free services from them, which could be very helpful to us. And that's all on the CTAB. I also wanna tell you that, the one thing I wanna make sure you understand is that our planning commission, we met, as we always do, on November 19th, which is the third Wednesday of the month. And we did, in spite of the fact that we didn't get all the documents until November 12th and 13th, for the TBD of Saxton property, I did my best to come up with a review of recommendations, and unfortunately, we did not have a quorum at that meeting, and so we were not able to vote on it. There was a recommendation from one of the planning commission members to meet on a different date again, and that was not able to occur. Joan and George and I are gonna meet on Friday, because they're two of the people, and Mary, you were invited to join too, but I think you said you had a conflict of some sorts, so that I can go over the recommendations that we made at that meeting with the two people who were there, which was Wayne and Kaylee. And so we will meet on Friday to make sure we can finalize that and vote on it at our next meeting, and that's it from that group.
Is there anybody here from fire or EMS? Maintenance report, Aaron, do you have anything that you wanna?
No, I don't have anything extra.
Solicitor's report?
I would just note that the tax anticipation note will be through MCS Bank, where the borough's borrowing about $125,000, which has been the case the last several years. The loan has to be paid off in 2026, so it's a one-year term. The interest rate is 5.24% fixed, and there's an origination fee or a bank fee of $625. Both, the interest rate is about the same as last year. The 50 basis points or the $625 fee is about the same also. So I will have all the documents prepared, and council at the last meeting authorized pursuing the loan, and then the money will be made available to the borough on the first business day of the new year, which will be Friday, January 2nd. And they usually put it in the account that day, so.
Can you repeat that about when the meeting is?
My understanding is that they voted on this at the November meeting.
Oh, no, it was something you said at the end about January 2nd.
Oh, no, the money becomes available.
Oh, okay, thank you.
They literally put it in our account, our general account, the borough's general account on the second, the first business day of the year.
Okay, good.
So,
Yep.
and I would remind council that under law, because it's an off-year election, council must reorganize on the Monday, the first Monday of the new year, so that would be January 5th. Council must meet to reorganize. And that's all, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
You too.
Borough Secretary's report, Mayor?
I just wanna thank the outgoing council people for their hard work and, a thankless job. I appreciated your help. Welcome to the new council people. Looking forward to it. So, appreciate your effort, and it's gonna work out.
Interesting.
Interest. Code enforcement.
I don't know what the one is, but, section 1, Brian answered my question, so we're good with that. The only thing I have a couple things. here this week, before the end of the week, was able to successfully find out who was dumping in our boat launch. So charges will be filed with that individual, not only from myself, but, we need to thank, the borough needs to be thankful that, we have a pretty active fishing boat conservation officer who was on the ball. We called him, he was here in 5 minutes, which is unheard of for conservation. I'm actually going with him tonight to pick up one last thing in Huntington. If anyone council people, once I get these finished up here, I will have photos and stuff, since the borough was a victim in this. Same thing goes for the dumping incident that I reported to you guys 3 weeks ago, that Cheryl had reported to me. That one, I'm not holding my breath. That situation is a lot different with finding the people that are accountable for that to be held.
So we know who they are, but
But I
we
can't find them
can't find them.
because they up in court. And at this point, they don't have a forwarding address. So, I'm struggling, but the gentleman who was dumping at the boat launch, has been caught. Cameras were deployed, so there's another instance of where they're valuable. With that being said, I told you I would have more update with that, and the Washington, Pine Street, whatever street you wanna call it, dumping was worked out to be just under 1 ton of garbage. To the council people, I'm going to have a thank you letter sitting at the office. I would appreciate it if everyone could try and make it in before the end of the week to sign it, for the fire department for coming down and helping me that night. We took care of it, they brought lights, they actually pulled the trash down off of the bank. It was about a 45-foot drop off. So there was no safe way for our borough staff to take care of it. So the fire company brought their tools down, pulled it all down, so our staff could then easily load it and get it out of there. So I'll have a thank you letter at the office, probably tomorrow afternoon. If you're passing by, please sign it. Their borough meeting. Their business meeting is this upcoming Sunday, so I'd like to have it for them to read right before the Christmas time, showing our appreciation. Likewise, I might do one too for the fish and boat officer also, cause he really helped us with that. And dumping just a single piece of garbage, I did not realize how much of a serious offense that is.
How much did we have to pay Parks to dispose of that?
Dispose of which one?
The one dumped out over the hill that the fire company helped with.
That one, give me 1 second, Charlotte. That one was,
The one where, I think you said it was a ton, didn't you?
it was just short of a ton. There was, we paid $89 twice.
Do we get that money back?
We can't
So,
find them.
if I'm literally running this out to the end of my clock. I have 30 days to file charges. If I, by some chance, can file charges and get these people before my 30 days is up, I will attach restitution. And I will be seeking a maximum fine of $1,000 for each of the people.
And wasn't it two about, it had to be overtime, wasn't it two?
Oh, yeah, the guys working.
I didn't get those numbers. All I got was the trash numbers.
Well, we'll need them
But yeah, we wanna make sure we include that, yeah, good idea.
The other one, the river, we had staff do that on overtime, we called them out the first time, that happened twice. The first time, we called out to get the stuff picked up after we had enough what we needed. I didn't have that, but we just put that in the borough dumpster, so we didn't pay anything extra to get rid of that.
Can you get the overtime amounts from Taylor to make sure that we are charging for that as well?
I wouldn't have that.
No, I'm asking,
Oh, yeah.
can you get it from Taylor?
Yeah,
Whoever does that.
I'll need that within the next 4 days.
Put that on there, my name is.
So I need to have numbers in the next 4 days, cause, I will attach restitution for that one also. And there was also, it was weird how it happened. So the one at Pine Street happened one day, it was on, I think, on Then the river happened 2 days after that, then 2 days after that, the second river incident happened. And then the day after the second river incident happened, we had someone dump down at the primitive boat launch across from Lyons. That one didn't yield anything, that one, I just had to clean up and be a new one. I updated you on the house that got torn down. I think on the list, I had an address wrong, I think I had an address as Filbert Street, it was actually a Washington Street address. That's gone, so in fact, we will be on the 2026 list, and there's another one, I don't know off the top of my head, that will be, I think either removed, or it'll be moved to a K-RIS because they did new work to it. So that'll be updated for the new council and whoever else.
And just along those lines, if you don't mind me saying, we are getting a lot of local building permits. People are making upgrades to their property. I think this is the
Oh, yeah.
highest month I've seen. I
Well,
don't know. It was like
I-
over $600
I will tell you,
the
Cheryl,
one month. It's fantastic to hear.
some of this is me and Tristan.
Right.
I see she says something or she's coming to work where she has me going, some of this money, since council took the stance when I asked and said, hold the people accountable for getting their permitting and doubling and putting that penalty on, a lot of these are penalty payments. So,
Listen, yeah.
it's working, I was gonna say that, I'm glad you brought it up, cause I forget stuff a lot, so. But, yeah, it's a very high number for December. Normally we have like $10.
A lot of people are making upgrades to the property.
They have been since COVID, so whenever I started 8 years ago, we kinda were like, $5 or $10 a year, that's just yearly, we were a couple people here and there. COVID hit, and I don't know what happened, but it was just a surgence, and anytime someone does something, I mean, this helps our tax assessment baseline, this makes sure everybody's doing things the right way, this also makes sure that people are getting legitimate contractors and not getting ripped off. There's more into this than just filing a paper out and getting a piece of paper in the window. And there are people in town, unfortunately, that have been taken by contractors just into this year. I mean, we can't catch 110% of it, but we catch damn near a lot of it. And that's truly a group effort from Tristan and me,
Is that
working together.
like countywide that people are doing upgrades, or is
No,
that?
this is just for us.
That's great.
And there was some scuttle over this with the contractor, Tristan and I squashed it, and with Larry's help, there was some people on Facebook, I love it, saying they're not required to get permits because it's not been done anywhere. It is recorded in our borough ordinances. You make any repairs or replacements or alterations to your property or decide to tear something down, permits are required.
There's signs coming down.
Yes, and that's one thing I did in my past year, like, I made sure that all the signs coming into town at every entrance was updated or visible, because they used to not be. And with that too, the same thing goes for solicitation. If you wanna sell something here, you need to go through the process to do so. If you do not, you're out, cause we can't protect our residents if it's a scammer or not. Everyone who applies to sell in the borough has to provide their driver's license and all their information so they can be vetted. That's part of my job. So, the only other question I had was, and then I'm done, as I saw in the thing, there was $100 in for my fines this year. What was that?
That's your parking tickets you wrote.
That's gotta be just one of them.
Are you talking about the budget?
Yeah, this one.
She just started separating them.
Okay.
I just created a line.
Cause I'm like, that ain't right.
Yeah, because I remember asking you on an
Yes.
email, and you gave me a response saying that you didn't think it could be separated, but
Well, the
it
fine
turns
money-
out it can, the money.
The parking tickets can be,
Okay.
fine money from the county cannot.
Okay. I knew there
So-
was something that you said
Yeah,
could.
I tried to explain it the best I could, it's pain, but I tried about 4 years ago to get the actual county fine money separated, and the judge's office told me it's not possible.
It's okay, at least we'll put the
But
parking.
it's,
ticket
we're
there.
still getting it, so that's all that matters.
That it?
I said I can't do anything better, cause Brian answered the question. The only other, I don't know what the solar administrator is.
I don't know either of them.
Well, it was my understanding that you and Tristan had a conversation and she was no longer gonna be the SADO administrator and you were going to be?
That's, part of that happened, but not all of that.
I don't,
Okay, well, then, we
Did
don't have to
she-
discuss it, we
Did
can.
she do a letter? I told her she needed to do a letter if she felt that way.
Oh, no, I didn't get a letter, I just was told to put it on the agenda, so I
Oh.
put it on the agenda.
Tristan had, so everyone knows, Tristan had come to me and expressed concerns that she does not feel that she is qualified to handle the role.
and,
Because every time she has a question, she has to come to me.
and I think that's because she's getting questions that
Correct.
she's not even supposed to be trying to answer.
Yeah.
All she's supposed to be doing is the clerical administrative part. And so, and it just sounds like that role hasn't been clarified.
Something, yeah, and, I mean, we need to make sure we're supporting each other, people are paying fees to do a solar process, it's a legal process, just like a zoning hearing is. So we need to make sure that we're providing the service that people are paying for.
That's correct.
So if Tristan doesn't feel that she doesn't obviously feel that she's certainly qualified to do it, we need to find a way to support her and figure out what actually is going on.
Oh, we can just go ahead and table that, how about that?
Okay,
Okay.
everyone's got my email, if you have questions.
Visitors requesting to speak, David Kelly.
Right, yeah,
Where is he? Oh,
right here. I have a question, are you paying for that porta potty down there at the park there?
we are.
Taxpayer wise.
It worked.
Our borough pays for that porta potty. It was supposed to be removed November first. You weren't here for that part of the meeting.
What's that? Sorry.
Our borough pays for that porta potty. It was supposed to be removed November first, and you weren't here for that part of the meeting.
I was here, we didn't have it.
What?
No, we had that discussion today.
Well, anyhow, we get it out of there, we're not.
Yeah,
using
you
it.
missed that whole part of this meeting. It's being removed.
It was,
Alright,
it's
how
gone.
can they pick it up today?
That's
You know,
supposedly.
Also, over by, Grace Church, you have a sign that says, is there no camping on the trailway, or is there no camping over there at all?
That's correct. There's no camping along the trailway anywhere. It's not permitted, cause it's a flood zone.
Okay, but the way, somebody asked me about the sign, and I, there's no camping on that area at all.
That's correct.
Okay. The other thing is, we're putting all this money in these parks. What about the Catholic Hill? Does the borough own that?
Yes.
It's all the parks that are gonna have the porta potty just for the
I don't think
summer.
he's talking about the porta potty.
Well, I'm talking about improvement wise.
He's not talking about the porta potties anymore now, he's just talking about the park.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm up the Catholic Park now. Does the borough own that park?
yeah.
Yes, we own that part.
We can't put like a basketball rim or something up there for the kids?
There was two, they were broken.
And David, I would encourage you to come to the Parks and Rec meeting, and your input will be heard. I mean, we'll hear you, and if you have ideas, we're happy to discuss them with you.
Well, I mean, need something up there in the Catholic. I know they break them, but you might spend a lot of money down there in Apartment Village Park, but not, what about up there? I mean, that is a park where people,
When's the next meeting?
Up in that area.
It's not scheduled yet, we just had one. Yeah, I don't have it.
one more thing, I'm sorry. When they closed down, Snappies in the subway, back in the days, Huntington County Business District said, that building will sell right away. It's still sitting there.
You're talking about the old DC Goodman building?
Yes, they said when they closed down, Huntington County business, people said, well, it'll be easy to sell.
We don't own that.
I didn't know.
Do you wanna buy it?
There's
I mean, I'm
some-
not sure what your question is for the borough council on that.
there's
Well,
something
we
going
go
in
through
there.
Huntington County, we're up business and industry for stuff, yet they really don't do anything for us. Seems like all the businesses are going up in Huntington instead of, you know, maybe down this area.
You'd have to take that up to the county,
Might need one.
they're the ones that decide where,
Okay.
for that.
And David, you know, we're hoping that we're gonna keep making progress as the comprehensive plan committee keeps working, because one of our areas is downtown business development. So, you know, it's hard to attract businesses unless the circumstances are ideal. And I think we're trying to put together ways to improve business in our borough. And that building has sat vacant for quite a long time
Yeah.
now. I think it's owned by Jackie Confer or something, right? Yeah, so,
So if we keep putting,
You gotta have people that wanna invest in.
Patrick was gonna speak on.
Patrick.
I can say, there is something going in there, they're remodeling, something's going in there in February.
oh, that's fabulous.
Yes. We didn't vote on it in the county yet, so you'll know in probably a coming weeks.
So you can't tell us who, what?
Nope.
Gosh,
Where's that at?
that's good though. Did you hear him, David?
I can't.
Goodman Building.
But can you speak up for David so he can hear you?
At the Goodman Building, there's gonna be, something's going in that building where Snappy's used to be, Snap Fitness.
Yeah.
There's something going in there next year, we'll make a public meeting, it'll be, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you should know what's going in there.
Well, it's not gonna be another skills game place, is it?
No, that's nice. It'll be a government agency.
I mean, are we getting any revenue from that,
No, we don't.
from the amusement tax?
We don't own it, but if they have a business and there's revenue, they have to pay taxes if that's what.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. Alright, so,
Thank you, David.
thank you.
Thank you. Terry Scott?
Excuse me, this is the first time I've been in public speaking for quite a long time, but, I wanted to talk about a approved handicap spot that was put on my street, or at, 22 West Halley Street. I believe it was at last meeting it was approved. My question, I got a couple questions. What parameters have to be met for that to be approved? I'm asking because I went onto like the Pennsylvania code and it said it's up to the borough, but a lot of the times if there is, off-street parking available and there's no undue hardship to access it, that usually that is not, the handicap spots are not given at that point.
So what we do here is every resident is entitled to apply for a handicap spot. That handicap spot is not, the handicap spot is not exclusive to the applicant. So that's one thing to keep in mind. That all the person has to do is they're required to give us a copy of their, placard that they hang in their rearview mirror. They're required to give that, a copy of their driver's license, right, or their ID. What's that?
All I got was the placard and the letter about why
Letter.
they needed it.
Okay, so they're required to give their placard, put it in writing to request one, it goes to the borough council to approve. Now, where this hard part is, because council has done so wrong in the past, is the only stipulation we have is there cannot be more than 2 per block. However, we can't really enforce that anymore because down here in Green Street, you have one every 10 feet. So, that being said, we take it into consideration, when I say we, I mean the council, but council typically takes it in consideration as to how many are there. They always typically come to me because I'm the one who's doing the parking stuff. And, I mean, until that parking space gets removed like we did tonight, or that person passes away or says I no longer need it, the handicap space typically stays.
Okay, so, what if the resident never uses it?
It doesn't matter, there's nothing in our ordinance that says you have to use it, because it's not exclusive to that resident. So,
Okay.
if if I get one, and I say I'm gonna use it, but
Yeah.
I don't own a vehicle, but my mother comes to my house to take care of me, and she has a handicap placard, or if she even carries mine, she's able to park there.
Okay.
So
So,
at the same token, if she comes to pick me up, and someone else with a handicap placard is parked in that spot, that person who's parked in there cannot get in trouble either.
okay. I had a family member tell me 2 months ago that I wasn't allowed parking on the street in front of my house because that was his mother's house or mother-in-law's house, and he should be able to park there anytime he comes to visit.
Yes,
And he has and there's like 6 to 8 off-street parking out back. Actually, it's easier access for her, that's where her car is.
Yeah.
That's where she comes in and out, and then all of a sudden, this handicap spot came up. And of course, it's already packed parking, and more houses on the street are being sold, it's gonna become even more packed. And let me tell you right now, if I thought she was gonna use it, I would not even be here, because if she's handicapped and she needed it, please, give it to her. But that's not the case, it's kind of retribution. That's the reason I was asking what the actual rules were around it for our borough.
yeah, so unfortunately.
And I'm saying that because the family members also have access to handicap spots, so I'm sure that's why it's there.
You mean handicap placard?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Once they have a fire, they can park there.
yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I got that, I did get that.
Can you talk to her?
And we have.
It was just requested, I know it was requested because they didn't want us to park there, they wanted to be able to pull up front and drop off their trash there, so.
I mean, unfortunately, we have that all over town. I mean, that's right on the answer you're gonna want to hear, but.
No, I
We
knew
have
that was
that
a
all over town.
possibility, I just wanted to know what our borough's
Yeah,
code was.
That stuff is actually online. You can Google search Ecode 360 Mount Union Borough, and it'll pop right up. You just have to go to the parking section, and it'll be right there. Most of our stuff's on there. I got everything situated and put together. We're gonna be updating it here. I'm gonna be updating it here in the beginning of the new year. So all of our new ordinances are now gonna be on there.
Okay.
But yeah, anything you need on there, and also you can go to the borough office and request copies, or the police department can supply you copies of the ordinances too.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Kathy?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kathy Wilson. I'm in charge of doing a 250th celebration for Mount Union. And, I wanna give you just a quick update on that. It looks like if I can raise the money, we'll be bringing carnivals back to Mount Union, which to me is a big coup. I think it's great. Plus, I have a list of a ton of other things. The initial dates that I gave around September 11th may have to change to pull this off. Within the next month and a half, I will have a lot more nailed down. I have got a ton of work to do within the next month and a half. One thing that was given to me at the county-wide meeting, and I'd like to present to the board right now, is I asked that the borough sign the letter to put us on the website for the 250th, that we will dedicate, time and whatever we have towards the 250th, and they framed it for us so it can hang in the borough building. And I'd like to present this now to the borough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll look good on every wall.
Don't we let no water get to it. So,
No, in the office.
yeah. Yeah. So, if anyone has any other questions, about anything, I have a lot of stuff I need to cover, just give me a phone call, I can answer anything about the 250th for you. We did start a Facebook page called the Mount Union 250th Planning Group. Please go to it, join it, and keep updated with us. Yes.
And it means, I know the bell's being made, and so we transport throughout the county. Did you just talk about that, and does Mount Union have a place for the bell that comes?
For what?
The bell, for the transport through all the towns?
We talk about that at the county meeting. They don't even have it yet, and they don't know a whole, until the, artist gets it painted and stuff. They did have someone donate time in a trailer to move it around, cause it's not very big, you just need a pickup truck or something. The bell will be here, I'll make sure that the bell is here for our celebration, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Anybody else have anything they wanna add? Meeting's adjourned.
I didn't know whether that ice was gonna be there, I didn't wanna call.
Guess the right thing, I did. Smart girl, smart girl.
I have a cash where I like fashion. They take up room. But why do my daughter have shoes? Like, seriously. 200 pairs of shoes. Like, what do you do with all those shoes, Larry? I don't get the shoes. But then here I am with, I have 200 sweaters. But I'm old. Some of them are old as old as a year old. Drive at the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not big into woods because they get on there. But I like the wood, like they sit like that and they are the whole thing too. I like you.
I've been trying to do everything. Oh.
Merry Christmas, sir.
See everybody. Thanks, honey.
That's great.
That's awesome. Appreciate it. Good job.